Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Um yes, I know I haven't been uploading, I can't talk as always. Haven't been uploading in quite a while, but I decided to make this video, and don't worry, everything else will come back at some point, even FE6, I swear. But yeah, I decided to make this video, a Fire Emblem Mage tier list, because I felt like it. I had a discussion with my friend Kirbyfan earlier, where we talked about our favorite Fire Emblem classes, and I came to the decision that I like mages the most. And Kirbyfan then decided that she wanted to make a video about her favorite Fire Emblem class, Fighter. If you're interested in that, I will link that down in the video probably, if I don't forget it. And after seeing that, I felt like, yeah, I kind of want to make this tier list as well. And so here we are. We are ranking every single mage in Fire Emblem history, except for Fire Emblem 1 and 3, because I have not played these, and honestly, I think Shadow Dragon and New Mystery will be enough for Archanea. One thing I might want to add, though, is that it's quite weird how to decide who is a mage and who's not. I'm going with the criteria that they either have to have Sage or Mage in their class names, with a few exceptions being Bards in the Structural games, and Conquest, Fates in general, and Three Houses, because those have not a specific Mage class, but we will see when we get there. And yeah, let's head right into it. We will start with Shadow Dragon New Mystery. Those I have not really twice in my tier list, because I'm gonna judge them on both games. I have not played Shadow Dragon too much, so I can't really talk about it that well. New Mystery I have played quite a lot. And then we get to Merrick. Merrick I would put into mid tier, because of the reason that he is, I guess, the OG mage. He can wield the Excalibur, I think it was, for males only. I don't remember how early you get it in Shadow Dragon, but Merrick yourself you get quite late, sadly, in New Mystery, which is why I don't have him as high. I really like the design of Merrick, I really like the way he plays, but aside from that I really don't have to say much about him. Yeah, I use him in Shadow Dragon, yes, but I don't really get to use him in New Mystery because I have lots of other characters that I usually want to use, so he gets slowed down a bit by that. On the other hand, we have Lindy, who joins fairly early in New Mystery and comes with the Aura Tome, which is just bonkers. Because of that Aura Tome, she can hit pretty hard and so on. Yeah, that makes her quite better than Merrick, I would say. The thing is, though, that I like using her more because she's more around more in the game that I prefer. But yeah, one thing I probably have to clear up is that this is not a tier list by their performance. I am not rating the characters on, oh, this character is so busted and this character is so bad. Nope, this is just personal favoritism. The criteria I'm really going with is basically looks, personality, and how fun they are to use. And that's why I'm putting Goto into Could Not Care Less. Technically, I should put him in Never Used, but the thing is, I'm not really interested in Goto. As I already said, I haven't played Shadow Dragon too much, and you only get Goto if you don't get the Falchion, which for me never happens, so I can't really say if I like Goto or not. So yeah, he gets into Could Not Care Less. Because whenever I play Shadow Dragon again, I'm not getting Goto. If someone says that Goto is very fun to use, I might skip out on the Falchion just to get him, but I highly doubt I will. Okay, next up is Yubel, or Yubello. This one is quite hard. I have not decided where to put everyone first. What I like about Yubello, though, is that he is a character that needs a lot of attention to train, and those are usually characters I enjoy a lot using, and probably also lots of other people do that. I think I'll put him right below Merrick. I don't think Yubello is anything crazy design-wise, but again, I like using the guy, and technically you could reclass him into anything else you want, but let's just keep it at that. Yubello is at mid-tier. Then we get to Wendell, who in Shadow Dragon is a bishop, I believe, but in New Mystery he joins as a sage, and Wendell is obviously quite strong, which is why I would put him maybe in high, but not in high, probably in mid-high. Yeah, I'll put him in mid-high. The thing about Wendell is that, yeah, you can use him as a sage, but the one thing you'd usually do is put him into Wyvern Rider, or Wyvern Lord, whatever the class was called, and he just wrecks stuff in that class, and I know this is a sage tier list, but using the guy as anything but a sage is quite fun. Next up is Elrian. Elrian, I would say, gets into Could Not Care Less. He has the same problems as Merrick, that being he joins pretty late, and I think he's also only a New Mystery character, or a FE3 character. I sometimes use him, but there's not really much to say. I don't like the guy, I really don't like him. So next up is Katarina. She also joins fairly late, but at least she joins as a sage. And you know, I think I'll put her right below Wendell. I feel like that, yeah, the Archanea characters are just not getting above mid-tier for me. I don't know what it is exactly, but, yeah, that's it. But, going from Archanea to quote-unquote Gaiden Echoes, we definitely have a character I will instantly put at top. Cliff is one of my all-time favorite characters, and you will hear that a lot in this video. What I really like about Cliff is, well, first of all, Cliff is a villager, he's not a mage. But in Cliff's case, we're going with his quote-unquote canonical class, which technically is mage. I know some people might disagree, but for this video, we'll just say Cliff's a mage. Yeah, his spell list is great, his magic is great, his speed is great, and Cliff is one of the few examples, or one of the many examples rather, why I like mages in Fire Emblem so much. So, usually mages are just these glass cannon characters that run into things, double things, and just one-round them, but if they ever get hit by an axe or something, they just die. But they also have a very high dodge rate because of their speed. It's just, they are these insane glass cannons that have these flashy animations and so on and so on. And Cliff is one you get pretty early. You can make him into a mage again. He has great stats and is one of these glass cannon characters. There are characters coming up that are more glass cannon-y than Cliff, but he is definitely one of those. And for Cliff's design and personality, both are great. I mean, Cliff just looks very cool, in my opinion. I dig the silver, blonde-ish hair, and his detached personality as well. Okay, sorry for that cut, I had to take care of something, my bad. I was not prepared for this. However, let's get back. One thing that also is very important in Echoes is the spell list, and yeah, he learns Excalibur at level 11, I think. It was fairly easy, early, not easy. So yeah, Cliff's a top tier, nothing can change that. Next character from Echoes, Luthia. I'll put him in low. I know this might sound weird because how can a character be lower than the Shadow Dragon New Mystery cast? I don't know, there's just something about Luthia that makes me not like him. One of the things I really dislike about sages in Echoes is the looks of them. Not from mages, but sages. Some of them have different outfits, but Luthia just looks weird. I never really got into Luthia. He's a great character. I definitely can relate to him being annoyed by his little sister. But gameplay-wise, I didn't really enjoy using him. To be honest though, I have played Echoes like 3 times because I think the replayability value is not really there. So maybe I just hatched Luthias all the time, but That's it. I don't even remember his spell list. I know that he gets Sagittae at some point, and I'm not even sure about that, so yeah. But next up is his sister, who I would put in high. Again, I will be, or again, not again, but I will be quite nitpicky on this. If anyone asks me about Delthea, I would say, yeah, easily top tier character. But if we're getting on the subject of mages, I have to be nitpicky. The reason why I like her less than Cliff is because, for once, I can't endure her all the time, because again, I can relate to Thea sometimes that she is quite annoying and she's quite bratty, but that also is part of her charm, which is why she's still in high tier. I like her design. Delthea looks super cute. The Sage outfit and the Mage outfit for women in Echoes also look great, which is why Delthea is definitely in high tier, and she is one of these glass cannons I talked about before, but way more glassier than Cliff is. Next up is Celica, who looks absolutely gorgeous, which is why she goes into high tier. Aside from that, she is a princess, I know, but she is a magic user as a lord, which is why she is in this. There are some of those coming up still, so if you don't count them as mages, feel free to say they're not mages, but in this case we will say she's a mage. Celica, pretty basic. I love her design. Her Gaiden one not so much, but witch design in Gaiden is really good. Her voice actor is also very great. I just love things about Celica. The reason why she's not in top tier is because of the reason many people are talking about, that Celica is quote-unquote dumb. I don't think she's as bad as people make her out to be, but aside from that, yeah, so Celica cool. Celica is cool. Next up is May. I will put her above both. Delthea, can you please? I will put her above both Delthea and Celica. The reason why that's the case is because May is hella cute. May is such a mood. May is a glass cannon. May is a mage. May is great. Actually, now that I think about it, I might also put her in top tier, actually. You know what? May is a top tier character. She's definitely a top tier character. And anyone who sells something else has, wrong taste. No, of course you are free to have your opinions, but May definitely mood. Next up's Boyd. No, wait, not Boyd. Bowie. Bowie I like character-wise a lot, but again, gameplay-wise I don't think he's that great, which is why he goes into high mid. Bowie looks really, really good. But aside from that, he feels like Luthea again, where he is not as fast of a mage, but more of a bulkier one. Bowie, oh my god, why am I trying to say Boyd all the time? I've played too much Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn lately. Bowie is, I don't know, he just plays weird, and I have used him way more times than I have used Luthea, so... And again, I don't like the male Sage outfit. In Cliff's case, that's fine, because Cliff always looks good in anything. But yeah, that's that. Next up is the next Goto character, being Noma. Basically the same thing. I guess, I will put Elrian in front of these two, because I really can't care about these two. There is a Goto character that I like, but those two are just eh. Okay, next up is Azel. And Azel is weird. I think I will put Azel above Wendell, but not in front of Bowie. The reason for that is using Azel is lots of fun. If you haven't checked out my Twitch yet, we have moved the Genealogy playthrough over to there, and I will also link down my Twitch in the video description. But yeah, the thing about Azel is that he is technically not that bad, stat-wise, and growth-wise, and skill-wise, but fire mages are on... He's not a fire mage, he's a regular mage, but mages are not that good in Gen 1 in the beginning, because the only tome you will have for a while is a fire tome, and the next one you get is in Chapter 2, a thunder tome, which are both not that great, and fire is actually the worst. It's basically the equivalent of an axe, which makes Azel pretty slow, and he will probably not double anything that wields a lance or sword, definitely. But if you get him to spiral quote-unquote out of control, he can promote to Mage Knight, and once he did that, he is quite fun to use, especially when you give him the Light Brand and, well, attack with the Light Brand on 2 range. But his early game is quite rough, and his looks are something. I don't think it's too bad, I don't think it's too great, but yeah, that's everything I have to say about Azel. Next, let's move to a character I adore, being Luin. Luin technically is not a mage, he is technically not, well, he is a bard at least, and he promotes into a sage, which means he should be on this tier list, probably, maybe. Anyways, if you look at my Twitch icon or my YouTube icon, you can see that I have Bard's icon as myself, and I absolutely love the Bard class. Well, the magic Bard classes. I'm not counting Nils. He's weird. He's weird. But Luin, probably a fan favorite for a lot of people. Well, that's what fan favorite means. Anyways, Luin is absolutely amazing. He does not have Pursuit, but he really doesn't need it because, you know, Adapt is a thing and Forseti is a thing, and he will basically every time, double every time due to that. And, I don't know, Luin's looks are also great because, again, all this bard shtick, every time I think about Luin, I'm just happy. Okay, next up is Teltiu. Teltiu has similar problems to Azel, but I like her more than Azel because of the reason that she has Wrath and she has silver hair and she looks gorgeous, you know. Actually, she will be put in front of Bowie. Yeah, she joins pretty late, which means she has to snowball to be somewhat useful, and even if you snowball her, she is only ready to really fight in Chapter 5 usually, which is the last chapter of Gen 1 for all of those who didn't know, which makes her quite annoying to use. Aside from that, I love her character-wise. I love her her look. And, you know, actually, is she low-high? I think she might be low-high. I think I don't want to be that nitpicky. Yeah, Teltiu is definitely one of my favorite mages. Next up is Julia. Julia I will put into low. Not because I think she's bad, and not because I think she, looks not cool. She's definitely something, and she promotes to Sage, for those who didn't know. I just usually don't get around to use her because, for all of those who don't know, Julia leaves your party at some point, and I don't want to deal with that. Aside from that, if you train her up, she can get to quite monstrous levels. She has 100% magic growth, and she gets 8 speed from promotion to Sage, so yeah, she is pretty strong. If you train her up, that is. Which I never really do. I will put her in front of Luthia, now that I think about it. But, I don't know, I just don't like using her at all. And next up is one of my favorite FE characters of all time, Arthur. So about Gen 2 characters in Fire Emblem 4, you can do multiple really fun things with those characters. One of them being passing down Forseti to Arthur, which makes him very fun to use, because having Forseti in Chapter 6 already is... let's say it just breaks Gen 2. But aside from that, it's not really that he is very useful as a character. I just like his outfit, I love his design, I love the way he talks, I love everything about Arthur. He is the son of Teltiu, which is why Teltiu is in low-high, I think. She gets carried by her son quite a lot. But yeah, even if you don't go with Forseti Arthur, you can still do fun things, like for example Wrath Vantage, which I'm doing on my current FE4 playthrough on Twitch again, shameless plug. And that is also very cool to use, and aside from that, Arthur is just generally really cool. He has not the same problems, but he shares a class with Azel, that being the mage class, but at least he comes with a wind tome, so he's not weighed down like way too much. Which is great. That makes him very, very much more fun to use. But yeah, I don't want this video to be too long. We're still in FE4 and we need to get out of here. Next up is Ahmed. He will go into bottom. Ahmed himself is not a bad character. Ahmed, I have only used once, I believe. And the reason for that is that he is the substitute of Arthur, and why would I ever get Arthur's substitute? So yeah, this is basically just favoritism talking. Ahmed, I'm sorry I'm not really giving you a chance, but you are trying to make me not use my favorite character, which I can't really allow. Okay, we then go to Tinny, and I will put Tinny below Bowie. I think she's cute. She is basically the light version of Arthur in general, because she gets the same skills. Not the same stats and growths, but they are mostly similar. But it's just her class that slows her down a lot. She joins as a mage as well, and promotes to mage fighter, or war mage, whatever you may call that. And I don't know, I just rarely use her. I still like her, and if I use her, I really use her, but I just don't get as much fun out of her as with Arthur, for example. Maybe because she doesn't have a mount, but that's that. Same thing for Linda. I think that was her name? Linda? Yeah. She is Tinny's replacement, and you don't get her if I don't get Arthur. Sorry, Linda. Next up is Zed, and Zed will go into high tier, above Celica actually. He is the son of Eren and joins as a sage. While he does not have, he also has the problem of having low move in FE4, he is a very, very fun pre-promote to use. He's very good at the start, his staff rank is pretty high, I think it's a B or A. So yeah, you get a very, very strong staff bot that can also deal lots of damage. In my current run, he is the son of Arden, which makes him only have 10% magic growth, but he still has quite a lot of base, which makes him usable, I like to think, but we will see once we get there. Same thing with Hawk, basically the same unit. Of course, Hawk has less growths, but I think Hawk looks cooler actually, and I know I just said that I like green hat mages and sages a lot, but I don't know. Hawk's portrait or Hawk's art really does it for me. He just looks very generic, but I think it's cool. Next up is Asbel, and he definitely got his way into my heart. Will I put him above May? Probably not, but he is definitely in top tier. The reason why Aspel is so high is the simple reason everyone likes Aspel and Thracia, and that's the graph caliber. I don't know what they thought what Kaga thought when designing Thracia, or sages in general, because every sage in a Kaga game is way too powerful. But yeah, Aspel combines these things I just said about being a glass cannon, and he's also a very reliable unit in Thracia, who always has 100% hit rate usually and kills things you want him to kill. He dodges things like crazy, he gets adept on promotion, which, by the way, he will most likely trigger when you need it, and the graph caliber is just insane. Aside from that, Aspel looks really cute. He's a precious little child, and I want to protect him, even though he protected me in my playthrough. But yeah, that's that. Also, he's a wind mage, and I dig wind mages. If you haven't gotten through it, I mean, I have not really talked about wind mages so far, and one of the wind mages is in bottom tier, so never mind, you couldn't have guessed it. Anyways, less talking about Azel, more talking about Owen, who is a mage knight. Owen I am not so sure about. I really like using her for the Dire Thunder, which is a brave Thunder Tome, and that's really cool, but her stats usually, aside from her magic and res, I believe, aren't too high. She also gets a blessed sword. I got that, but I never really got around to using that. So I think I will put her in high mid, above Tinny. Actually, no, above Bowie even. Yes, she is a slow mage unit, and she does not have as much dodge as I'd like her to have, but she definitely can kill the things I want her to kill with the Dire Thunder. I like Owen's design. I like her haircut a lot, and I like her haircut a lot. And I like the fact that she has a Brave Thunder Tome. That's cool. Aside from that, I don't really have to say anything else. Next up is Homer, and I will put Homer above Delthea. The reason for that is he's a bard again. He is one of the two only bards, well, magical bards, in Fire Emblem, and I definitely want Fire Emblem to bring back bards. The reason why I like Homer so much is he is very weak when he joins, and he is one of these characters that you can train from 0 to hero very easily because he joins with Paragon. And once you got him snowballed, he promotes into a Sage, and again, in Kaga games, Sage promo bonuses are way too strong, and then he's a very, very decent unit to use. He's no Aspel, he is definitely no Aspel, but he is a very cool character to use, and I like his design. Again, he is a bard, and I like bards. Next up is Linoan. I'll be honest, she's in bottom tier. She starts out as a cleric, but promotes to Sage. The thing about her, though, is that she is pretty much a staff bot all the time until she promotes to Sage. And the thing about her is that her promotion is story locked, so... Well, not really story locked, but you can promote her only in chapter 21, I think it was. And that is quite a bummer, because the game's almost over by then. And I don't know. I promoted her to a Sage, and I used her for a bit, but only for staff utility, so she didn't really did the things I wanted to get out of a Sage. Next up is Ilios, and I've only done one Thracia playthrough so far, meaning that you can already guess, since I have used Olwen, I did not get Ilios. But I am definitely interested in using Ilios, and in my second Thracia playthrough, I will kill off Olwen to get him. So, I'm very much looking forward to that. I like his design a lot, so if I would have to put him anywhere design-wise, I think he would be in high mid, maybe in low high. But for now, let's just keep him here. Next up is Sarah. Definitely a top tier for me. I'm not going to talk about Sarah's inclusion in the story of Thracia, because I don't want to spoil people who haven't played the game yet. I'm spoiling them enough by showing them all the characters, but that I sadly can't avoid. But yeah, I love Sarah. She's a cleric, as Linoan is as well, but the thing about her is she can promote whenever you want her to, with at least being a level 10, of course. She also has Paragon, just like Homer, which is great, because then you can just abuse rewarp staves and warp staves and so on to get her to level 10 or even higher to get her to promotion level, and then you got a Sage with a very, very high staff rank. And I know I said that I don't want Sages to just be staff bots, but them having a high staff rank is very, very nice to have. So, yeah, I love her a lot, especially since she also has 5 Vigor stars, meaning that she will, well, proc them 25% chance of the time. What? Well, she will move quite a lot. Again. Next up is Miranda. I haven't gotten on her route, meaning I didn't get her, but I am very much intrigued. I know that she is supposed to be a bad unit, but that makes me even more interested in her. Yeah, I just like her. That's it. Next up is Set. This set I will put to the other set. The reason why I like this set more than the other set is that he just wrecks stuff like a set FE4 would when you pass him the Forsetti, because that's basically what FE5 set is. He is a very late game pre-promote that uses the Forsetti, and you know, since the speed cap is 20 and Forsetti gives 20 speed, you can basically double anything. There are some enemies you can't, I believe, but that's whatever. Yes, that is just really fun to use because Forsetti is just a broken tome, and he looks very, very great. Okay, finally we made it to the GBA era, and with that my favorite era of the Fire Emblem games, aside from FE4. And we will start with Lou. Lou is a precious child I will put in low-high in front of Teltio. He is one of the first mages I ever used. In fact, I have played FE7 first, and then I stopped playing it because I didn't like the game at first, went to FE8, and then after FE8 to FE6. And I can tell you, Lou was a lot of fun. And Lou is probably one of my favorite FE units all the time, in all time. And because of that, I just realized that I have to move him up here. I don't like his color scheme because I think green-yellow looks very weird, but it's fine. It's fine. I can handle that, and I don't know. He's a very basic mage, and there's not really much to say about him. Okay, next up is Lilina, and you would think that I would put Lilina below Lou, but she is actually going up here. Lilina is a very bad unit. Everyone knows that. Everyone who plays Fire Emblem knows that. But she is a mage, and she is very fun to raise up. And it's definitely possible to raise her up. I know that she is not a great unit to use. She dies to a lot of things, and she is very low level when she joins. But once you have gotten her up to a level where she can actually fight by herself, she's really, really fun to use. Lilina looks cute as heck, and every time I play FE6 casually, I find myself using her because I have so much fun using her. The reason why I like her that much more than Lou is the sole fact that you have to raise her. There's two kinds of characters that you have to baby up. One of them being the characters that are just annoying to raise up, and then the characters that you raise up and they give you so much joy right after that you think it was worth it. And the thing about Lilina is that she will pretty much almost level magic in almost every level. And she has a very high one-shot potential, and if she doesn't one-shot, you can just dump a Speedwing on her and then hopefully double most of the enemies she needs to kill, and yeah, she does big damage numbers. And that's something I very much like about her. Next up is Hugh. Hugh I don't really use a lot, but when I use him, I love him, which is why I'll put him in mid-high. The reason why I love Hugh so much is because he looks very cool. And that's it. He joins fairly late, he joins as a mage. You can technically control on what level you want him to join and what bases he has, depending on how much money you spend. But I don't know what. Sometimes it really depends on what stats I want him to have. He also has the Hue glitch brought with him. If you pay him the least amount of money and then reset the game, he will cap magic for some reason, or overflow magic, which leads to him having a magic cap, and if you promote a magic capped and 20 magic, and if you promote him, he will keep that 20 magic, which is quite busted, yes. I think I've only used it once or twice, but aside even from the glitch, he is a very fun unit to use, because, you know, Mage that looks cool, and Mage in general, really fun to use. Next up is Urk. Urk, I think I will put him in high-low. technically, Urk is the very first mage I used, and I enjoyed using him, but now that I think about it, I don't really like FE7 super much, and for some reason Urk doesn't give me the feel of being that glass cannon-y unit. He still is that, but I don't know, maybe I haven't used Urk enough to really say that he is an amazing unit to use. Well, on the subject of amazing units to use, we have Pent, and Pent will go here. The reason why Pent will go there and is because, you know, every time I play FE7 I just think I want it to be over, and Pent is a character you can use to autopilot a lot. You can just throw him into things and he just gets rid of everything you need him to. He's also a great staff bot, and Pent is just one of the best units in FE7 and makes the game much more enjoyable for me. Also, he looks very stylish, and I'd like to meet him. Next is Nino, and I'm sorry for everyone watching who likes Nino. I know this must be a pain, but she will go right here after Wendell. I love Nino's character, I love Nino's design, but using her is a pain. If you intend to promote her, you don't really have a lot of chapters for that, and I don't know. I will still put her in mid because I just love her as a character and she's a big meme. But the thing about Nino is that she joins as... I don't remember her level, but she joins as a very low level mage. And you only have what? You have her Paralogue with Sonya, you have Cog of Destiny, Sense of Time, and Victory or Death as the last few chapters that you can train her in. Yes, you could put her in an arena and grind her up there, but I'm going with arena-less here, so training up Nino to promotion, or training her up to 2020 even, is something that I don't really find myself doing, because, again, I just want FE7 to get over, and Nino just prolongs this process. Athos is the first Goto character that will not go into Could Not Care Less, but he will be in High-Low. The reason because of that is Athos is just a cool character. He does bring a lot to Olib's lore. The reason why he's in low is because you can't use him a lot, and that's basically it for every Goto type character. But yeah, aside from that, I think he's cool. Mark stages are cool. Okay, next up is Molder, and you would say Molder is not really a unit that belongs in this tier list. I'd say he is, because he promotes into Sage, or you can promote him into Sage. Yes, I know who would do that. And in fact, I did that for a few times, and I can say Sage Molder is not that great. But he is still enjoyable, so I think I'll put him below Yubo. Aside from that, there's not really much to say about Molder. When you use him as a bishop, he's very, very fun to use, because Slayer is such a cool skill, but we're talking about Sages here, and Sage Molder really doesn't give you anything, so... Same with Arthur, by the way. Or Arthur. I like him more than Molder, though, design-wise, so he gets here. Okay, next up is Lute. And she is, well, kind of the same as Lilina, but she is the first Sage I really enjoyed using, which is why I will put her below Cliff. Again, FE8 was my first game that I played, and, well, played entirely. And yeah, Lute was very, very fun to use. I made her a Sage in my very first playthrough, and she kept magic, if I remember correctly. Again, the same reasons as Lilina. She one-shots things, and if you need her to double, she will usually also double. And that's basically it. I love losing Lute, and Lute is a very, very cool unit. Sally, basically Pent. Not as good as Pent, but basically Pent. I like his design more than Pent's, which is why I think I'll put him up here. And I also like Sally's character a little more than Pent. I know Pent has more inclusion in FE7 story than Sally has in FE8, But I don't know, I just like how he is like this quote-unquote new father figure to Myr, and also him being Ewan's teacher. It's just a very cute dynamic. Ewan is up next, and Ewan I will put up here. I know I trashed on Nino, but the thing about Ewan is he can join quote-unquote early enough where you can train him up, and I just think training trainees in FE8 is a lot of fun. The same reason why I love Ross so much. Amelia maybe not so much because she promotes into very dubious classes, aside from Paladin. Paladin Amelia can be great, obviously. But yeah, Ewan I just really like to use. He can promote into lots of different classes that I like. Druid, Summoner, as well as Mage Knight and Sage. I think I never really used Sage a lot, but every time I used Sage, I also went out of my way to train him up to Evaldi. And that is just unnecessary, and I love doing that. Anyways, now we're done with the GBA games, meaning we can move on to Tellius, and I have actually played Tellius pretty recently, which is why I might be a bit biased when I do this now, but yeah, Sorin, even though I've said that I like Sorin a lot in my Path of Radiance playthrough, I will only put him in... who? I think I will put him here. The thing about Sorin is, in Path of Radiance his personality is not too great. Yes, he is quote-unquote collected. He's definitely not calm, but he's quote-unquote collected. Also not really collected, but at points he is. I like his design. I think the Sage class looks stupid in Path of Radiance, at least for him. And aside from that, I just think he looks okay-ish. He's very fun to use. He's a very bad unit at the start, and if you train him up a lot, he turns into a very, very strong unit. You can give him stuff like Vantage Adept, and he will most likely proc Adept lots of times, since I think he usually caps skill in the game. Meaning that he just kills everything on Vantage. It's not a given that he does that, but it can happen and it's really fun. But the thing that mainly holds me back on Sorin in this game is I don't like the way he looks. That sounds so bad. But yeah, I do like Sorin. And surprise, surprise, for those who have watched me play Path of Radiance, I will put Ilyana in front of Sorin. I know Gene and Kirbyfan will be quaking right now, because they absolutely adore Ilyana, and I can totally understand that. You know, I would even go as far as putting her above FE4 Zed. The thing about Ilyana is she is very cute, she is a mood most of the time, and she's a Thunder Mage. She's a mage. The reason why I think she's better than Sorin is because of her looks in this case, because I just think Ilyana looks very cute, and that's it, that's all. Nothing much to say about her anymore, but yeah, I hope Kirbyfan and Gina will be happy about this. The next character from Path of Radiance I will put in a tier is Tormod, and he will go right below Aspel. I like Tormod's design, he looks very cute. I definitely prefer his design in Radiant Dawn. But the reason why I put Tormod here is because of celerity. He has that, and you can also give him boots by the point he joins, and you then have a 10-move Sage, which is very funny, because in my Path of Radiance playthrough, he was the character with the most movement in my game. I also slapped the Night Ring on him, so he basically was a magic cav without the horse. And yeah, what I also did was giving him knives, but I can imagine that if you give him staves, he is way, way more fun to use. He did not turn out that great for me stat-wise, but running around, cantoing back was very, very cool with 10 move. And again, this is, I think, one of the few fire mages I really, really like. Like, who's the next highest fire mage? I guess Celica, but she uses light most of the time, so I guess it's really Azel. He's a dedicated fire mage. Quote-unquote fire mage. He just has Valor Holy Blood. But yeah. Next up is Khalil. Khalil goes in mid. High mid, actually. She goes above Tinny. Yeah, nothing really to say about actually, now that I think about it, no. Khalil goes below Wendell. Actually, below Nino. Again, mid-tier does not mean I hate the character. I still love every single one of these characters, except maybe bottom and could not care less. Okay, so the thing about Khalil is she is a really cool unit that joined. She has the Sage class, which automatically puts her in mid. She looks cool. I think I already said that. But the things that kind of turn me off is her personality. She is kind of a weird person to be around. I mean, I wasn't around her, but I can imagine that she would be a weird person to be around. Aside from that, she's just a really good Sage, like these two up here, Sully and Pent. Which is why she doesn't go into low tier. Just enjoy using her. Bastion, could not care less. Bad unit, don't like his design, don't like his personality. He is probably the worst Sage out of all of them. I mean, Goto I can still understand. He is kind of relevant. Noma, he is relevant, question mark? Bastion is relevant, but I just don't like the guy. Okay, next up is Micaiah, and I am technically still playing Radiant Dawn. I have played the game a long time ago already, but I don't really remember everything about it. I just know that Micaiah is not the best character character-wise. I do love her outfit though, I do love the way she looks. And judging solely by that, and her gameplay, I think I will put her in high mid, or even low high. I think she will stay here, because I haven't finished the game yet, again. The reason because why she's here, she's hella cute, but she dies to everything that touches her, and unlike the mages I like that can dodge quite a lot, she does not do that. She doesn't have that much speed, and she just explodes when an axe hits her. And that's it, it's just that. I don't know, maybe that'll change once she promotes a second time, but for now I will put her up there. Ilyana, Radiant Dawn. I do not like her as much as Path of Radiance Ilyana, which is why I'll put her in low-high. Tormod will go here, top tier. He is by far not as fun to use anymore as Path of Radiance Tormod, because you first can't give him the boots or the Night Ring. He also is not around for that much of the game. Like, you only have him for part of part 1, and then he joins back in part 4, I believe. And by that time he's quite bad, and I don't think you can really make him work anymore, but I really love what Age did to this child. I think out of every one of the top tier characters, I like the design of Tormod, Cliff, and Arthur the most. Those would be my 3 favorites looks-wise, probably. But yeah, sadly I have to put him below Tormod just because... below Path of Radiance Tormod, just because using him will probably not be as much fun. I have not gotten to Khalil yet. I am pretty close to her, so I'll put her here. Same thing with basically everyone that is in that is still coming up. Bastion still goes in here. He definitely got a glow up in Radiant Dawn, but he still in could not kill us. And then we have Peleus. Again, I still am not at the point where I can use Peleus just yet, but I am very much intrigued by this character. He, I think, joins as a Dark Sage or something, but for Peleus alone, I made a save file that already has a clear save, so I can get him in my Radiant Dawn playthrough. I know that he's supposed to be bad, but I do like the way he looks. So far, I think his story inclusion is quite interesting, but I don't know, it's nothing very crazy just yet, so I can't really say much about his character. But aside from that, yeah, I'm looking forward to Pelias, but I have not used him yet. Okay, now we get to Awakening. And I can tell you, in Awakening, I do not like the Mage class. And because of that reason, we will do this. You know, actually, Rickon is low tier. Okay, so I have used all three of those. And I've read their supports and everything. And honestly, in Awakening, Dark Mages are probably the mages in this game for me. Or in that game for me. In the case of Awakening, you only have Rickon, Miriel, and Laurent. Miriel and Laurent I really, really hate character-wise. I don't know, I just don't like the way they talk, I just don't like the way they interact with people. And because of that, I'm putting them in Could Not Care Less. Even below Bastion. Even below Bastion. Just because they, I don't know, they just don't do it for me. Adding to that, the sprite and the outfits of the Sage class in Awakening just look horrible. Probably my least favorite sprite of the Sage class ever. I still think Mage looks fine. Mage looks cool. I used Rickon quite a lot, but also for Rickon, he just looks goofy at times, and again, Sage does look very, very weird, which is why he's in low. If you have a different opinion on it, it's fine. Again, this is only my opinion, this is not a definitive tier list, but Awakening Sages and Mages just don't do it for me. Okay, next up are Fate's characters, and I will do this also quite quickly. I think Orochi is high-low. She is very beautiful. Aside from that, I couldn't really care less, but I still think she's fun to use. I don't really have to say any more about her though. Next up is Hayato. He's in bottom, and he's a brat. Period. I don't know. When when Fates came around, they just gave everyone these tropes. And I'm not saying that previous characters are not very trope heavy. For example, Ilyana always just talks about food in Radiant Dawn, but they, at the point of Fates, they just want to shove the tropes into your face. And in case of Hayato, he's always like, I want to be a man, and I'm not a child. And of course, like, Scythia does that too, but at least she has some redeeming qualities. Hayato does not have these. And I don't like Hayato. Okay, next up is Rajat. Design-wise, I will put her in mid. Probably below Merrick. And yeah, probably below Merrick. Rajat is one of the 3 characters that are copied, or one of the 6 characters that are copied from Awakening. And I like Tharja. She technically isn't Tharja, she is Hayato's child. But she should be like Tharja. And judging Tharja, I like her, quote-unquote character-wise, because at some points she is very wholesome, and at the points where she isn't, she just isn't, and then I don't really enjoy that, but she can be very cool at times. Also, she's a very fun unit to use. Same for Rajat, but the fact that Rajat is just a recycled character, she's not like Odin, Selena, and Laszlo, who, in my opinion, are better than Kaldori, Rajat, and Asugi. And that was the third one, yes. Because those are just recycled, while the other ones are the actual characters from Awakening. But if you haven't seen anything about that, I'm not going to spoil you. Because of that reason, I'll just put her into mid tier. If it was Tharja, she would be in high tier, because Tharja looks absolutely cool. But yeah, no dark mages in this, aside from the dark mages I'm talking about now. Because now that we get to Conquest, and I forgot to actually mention that, Fates does not have typical mages. They only have spellcasters, omnioges, and well, dark mages in Conquest. I actually forgot Izana, but just imagine Izana being in Could Not Care Less. I just forgot to put him up here. Odin. Odin, very easily high tier. Bottom high though, because oh, this is not well cropped. My bad. Odin is in high low because again he is kind of recycled, but I like the original Owain. I like the rendition that he is in as a dark mage now. He was obviously a Myrmidon before, but dark mage really fits him. So that's that. He's also a very cool unit to use. He's a mage, blah blah blah, and so on and so on. Nyx I will put into low mid. I know lots of people like Nyx, but I don't like the fact that she is supposed to be this old lady who got turned into a child. That is usually something that I don't really like as a trope or as a character trait for game/anime characters. I do like her gameplay wise though, because she is very cool to use. She's very fun to use, but yeah, Fate's characters are something. Well, talking about Fate's characters, I love him. This is my husband. Period. Leo is cool. I love Leo. Leo looks very gorgeous. He's the fourth person that I would say looks the best out of all of them. In the top tier. I just love Leo. He is perfect. He is one of the few Fates characters that I actually enjoy using, not only because he's a good unit, but also because he is a very cool unit character-wise, and a cool unit that is not too heavy on tropes, I feel. Like, thinking about Leo, I don't think there is a trope that he is constantly pushing in your face, like Camilla or someone else. Anyway, let's keep moving on. We will put Hubert in high-low. I don't like Hubert as much. I know that, actually, no, he at least deserves to be above Nyx in low-mid. I don't like Hubert too much as a character, but he has points where I think he's a cool character. Whenever he does not talk about Edelgard, he is very cool. Whenever he talks about Edelgard, he pisses me off. As a unit to use, I never really used Hubert too much. But I think he's fine. He's definitely not at bottom tier with these four or at low tier. No, he's definitely not at low tier. Actually, should be like this, honestly. Okay, next up is Dorothea. Dorothea, we will put her in mid tier above Wendell. She looks cool, very cool character, very fun unit to use. Usually my dancer when I use her, obviously. Aside from that, not really much to say about her. She's cool. Lysithea, she is probably higher than Radiant Dawn Ilyana. Again, she is a brat just like Hayato, but she has redeeming qualities. I think she is fun at some points, she is cool at some points. I like how she looks. I like that she has this sort of quote-unquote redemption post-time skip, that she does not really feel like she's a child anymore. But yeah, aside from that, that's Lysithea for you. Lawrence, I hate. Not as much as all of these, so he goes into bottom. I think this is the way I should actually do it. Yeah, I don't know. Lawrence is weird. I don't like the guy. Annette, really don't have an opinion on her, but she's definitely above Rickon. And now we come to the two teachers, who I really can't say anything about, aside from I wished... No, actually, you two are here. Aside from the fact that I wish they were more included post-time skip. Like, they were kind of, quote-unquote, big characters in pre-time skip. But when you hit, well, post-time skip, they weren't really around for that much and didn't really have an inclusion. At least make them appear in some scenes and make them discuss strategies or something, because they should know about war. Anyways, last person to talk about is Constance, and she will be in mid-tier below Nyx. Don't like her split personality shtick too much, but Constance is a cool unit to use. I know I haven't really talked very much about the characters that were coming with Fates and Awakening. Well, Awakening I did. Fates and 3 Houses, but I really don't have opinions on those characters because, while I have played the games quite a lot, I just used more characters more. I don't know, Sages and Mages just fell off after a while and didn't really do it for me anymore. But yeah, this is the final tier list. You are obviously invited to talk about my picks. You can say if you would put anyone higher or anyone lower in the comments, or maybe in the Discord, which I set up, and I will put a Discord link in the description if you want to talk about stuff like this with me or with other people in there. We have lots of cool people around, so if you want to join and also don't want to miss streams, join it. I am very thankful if you do. Of course you don't have to. But yeah, if you don't want to do it on Discord, you can obviously tell me in the comments what you would change. Again, this is just my own opinion, and also I love everything that is going to low. Anything else, I'm sorry, obviously these do not count. These I still have to use. But yeah, this is the final tier list. And I hope you enjoyed this video. This was quite long, and don't worry, Twiwi, Fire Emblem, and Your Turn to Die will continue. I hope. Anyways, bye bye.